Good afternoon. Welcome to the October 6th edition of Sports on Sunset. I'm James Jericho.
I'm Jeremy Paul.
No NFL quick takes today. We're due to scheduling conflicts. We're doing it on a Saturday. So we're going to get straight to the topic. We have avoided purposefully talking about the Los Angeles Lakers throughout the entire course of the show. Because if you're not in Southern California, the bottom line is this: the Lakers own this entire region. If we talked about the Lakers all the time, we would have nothing unique about us at all. And we, for all of our faults, we are two unique bastards. So let's talk about them today, though, because training camp has gone on. The new look LA Lakers will play their first exhibition game tomorrow up in Fresno against the Golden State Warriors. The holdovers from last year's roster that are still on the starting lineup: Kobe Bryant, Pau Gasol, Ron Artest. There was no question that the roster that they had last year was lacking on a number of levels. Even the Lakers would admit that. They wanted one more last try, but they had to reinvent themselves on the fly. And frankly, I don't think you can get much better than point guard Steve Nash and center Dwight Howard. There are pluses, there are minuses. A lot of people have been talking about them. But the reason that we're talking about them today, aside from the fact that the season's about to start, is my friend here had a post from last week.
I like the last week.
But the reason I bring it up is I know that you're not entirely bullish on the Lakers. I want to find out off the bat how much of it was sincere and how much of it was a little tweak just to screw with the Laker fans, of which there are a ton out here. And I'm the first to admit many Laker fans are pretty insufferable. So please go ahead.
A lot of it was sincere because it's absolutely true what I wrote. What I wrote was this: attention Laker fans. Two of the people you traded for or acquired have back problems. One had back surgery earlier this year. The other one, during games when he's not playing, has to lay down flat on his back because he gets back spasms. That's your starting point guard, Steve Nash. Back spasms, horrible. Not to mention the fact he's 38, 39.
Right.
Yeah. Your shooting guard, Kobe Bryant, has knee problems. Refused knee surgery earlier this year, and also recently, I didn't even know about, had a foot injury. 34 years old. Your starting power forward center is soft, and they traded the more aggressive.
Which one are you referring to? Gasol?
Pau Gasol.
Okay. Just for clarity's sake,
they traded his brother, who's a not soft, to get Pau Gasol. They traded Marc Gasol to get Pau Gasol, which is well, I guess you had to do, right? Because you had Bynum, which you traded away. And then of course, you have Meta World Ron Artest Peace, who's Meta World Ron Artest Peace.
Yeah, I don't want to call that guy World Peace. I'm sorry. We're just doing that he'll do it. And he's just doing it just to twist the knife a little.
Because look,
you're Ron Artest.
Yeah, your team is in disarray, Laker fans.
I disagree.
You have the potential to, by midseason, have nobody starting that is in the starting five. Ron Artest is an elbow away from losing his shit and being suspended for the rest of the season. Kobe is a stepped-on foot away from being all done for the season. Dwight Howard is a bump in the back. Like he complains about being hit in the back. What do you think they're going to do all year when you're playing down in the post? You 6'10" power forward. You're not a center. Shaq is right. They're going to hit you in the back repeatedly, and you're going to crumble. And you're going to have another back surgery. This is what you're signing up for, Laker fans. You have two people with back problems, a soft power forward, and a guy that's nuttier than the nuttiest person that I'll probably end up talking about as part of our what's on our mind subject.
Yeah.
By the way, his title's been taking over as nuttiest person.
Okay.
Yeah.
Here we go. Let's before we start arguing over it, I'm also going to want to ask questions, kick the tires a little bit. You were referencing Shaquille O'Neal, who last week referred to Dwight Howard as the third best center in the game behind Andrew Bynum and Brook Lopez, oddly enough. Look, Shaq is funny, but he's also an egotist and, frankly, a Laker ingrate.
But he's also right.
I'm not sure about that. But first of all, before we go there, where does Howard rank?
At the very best third. At very best third. Brook Lopez, I would take him over Dwight Howard because Brook Lopez is tall, defends. Sure, he has health problems now. He's been having knee injuries and whatnot. But so does Andrew Bynum. And once those stop, you get to see just how good he is.
My counter arguments with what you're talking about with regards to Dwight Howard are as follows. One, it's not that I have an issue with, well, I mean, yeah, both Bynum and Howard were not model citizens last year. Let's put that aside. But only one of them right now is in condition to play. That's Dwight Howard. It's not Andrew Bynum.
And only one of them got the coach fired.
Oh, yeah. No, none of my argument is going to be about how great a guy Dwight Howard is. That's not it. But who's playing? But who's going to be able to play? Right now, it's Dwight Howard.
Now, you're saying... As far as we know.
Well, he's been
complaining about his back.
He's been practicing.
Yeah.
And but the other thing is that you also, I would also argue that you're talking about you're getting a lot more physical bumping and playing and grinding in the East than you will in the West. That's one. Two, Dwight Howard, part of Shaq's argument actually went against himself. He's saying that Dwight Howard right now does not have a post game. Let's assume for the moment that Shaq is right because Phil Jackson came out and said there's something to that.
Yeah.
Okay. The problem is that the Lakers' offense is going to be based with a lot of high pick and rolls and posts. And oh, by the way, that's Dwight Howard's game. So it doesn't matter to me whether or not Dwight Howard, right at this moment, is the most dominant guy in the low post on offense. If that's not his game now, and that's not the offense they're running, then therefore, why are you trying to put Dwight Howard now as a square peg in that round hole? The offense now is pick and roll. And that's going to work with a guy like Steve Nash.
But who's going to be the recipient of most of the pick and roll?
Oh, but that's the point. In the Princeton offense, it's a lot of different people.
Yeah, but
it's a Princeton offense.
You're giving the ball to Steve Nash.
Right.
Right? And he's going to control the ball. Who's going to be the first person that receives a pass?
Depending on the flow of the play, it can go into any number of people.
No.
If you're running a high post, you're not putting Kobe in the high post.
Right. But the first pass is always going to be Kobe. Regardless. If he's in the game, first pass, Kobe. Then back to Nash. Then into the post. That's how it's going to work.
We'll have to find out how that flows because they haven't run a game yet.
Right.
Fair enough?
But that's essentially what their offense is going to be. It's going to be Steve Nash to Kobe. If Kobe can't create, back to Steve Nash into the post.
But it'll be the high post with Steve Nash. I mean, not.
I know you meant.
And again, the pick and roll, that is not a low post game. That is a high post game.
Right.
Which plays to all of their strengths.
Well, not so much Pau Gasol's.
Pau Gasol, trust me, if there's anybody on that starting lineup that will be the first to willingly say, I'm not the guy, it's Pau Gasol.
Is he going to rebound? Is Pau Gasol going to stand underneath the boards and take the beating?
Pau Gasol, look, on defense, you're talking Howard. On offense, you're going to have to sit there and say, okay, we're going to share it between Artest and Gasol and Howard. Because there's your rebound triangle right there.
Yeah, but...
I like their odds. Height makes right, brother. Height makes right, and he's still 7 foot.
Only one of those people actively tries to rebound. And that's Dwight Howard.
Artest doesn't try to... Artest doesn't?
Not really. Okay. No. He stands out and he'll guard, but he doesn't actively try to rebound.
The Lakers' here's my other argument, the counter argument to what you're saying with regards to Dwight Howard. Again, in terms of where does he rank? The Lakers have had a profound history of building around the so-called best big man in the game. Mikan, Chamberlain, Abdul-Jabbar, Shaquille O'Neal. Matter of fact, even when they have a damn good center, they will get rid of the damn good center to get the best center. They got rid of Vlade Divac, who was a damn good center.
Yeah.
To get Shaq.
No, they got rid of him to get Kobe.
Well, I mean, no, directly, that part, directly, yes. But that also cleared the cap space to get Shaq.
Yeah.
The moment they traded Vlade for that pick, it was a guy, who I forget who the GM for Phoenix was then, but the GM for Phoenix was, oh shit, the Lakers are going to get both Shaq and Kobe.
Yeah.
And they got both Shaq and Kobe.
Right.
So anyway, but the point I'm getting at is, I'm sorry, while you can say Dwight doesn't have a significant goalpost game, a lot of this sounds like sour grapes to Shaquille O'Neal.
Well, a lot of it does, but what if he's right? Which he is. He's right about the two moves that he had.
The Lakers have had too profound of a history of choosing. It's not that they look over a magazine and say, oh, Dwight Howard looks so cool. They don't do it that way. They know centers.
Which center of the ones you named? Mikan, Chamberlain, who else? Kareem, Shaq, and Dwight.
Right.
Which ones had major surgery before the Lakers?
Now that one I can't answer.
None. Dwight Howard.
Actually, you just
Yeah.
but let's get
Dwight
that.
Howard.
Dwight Howard. I'm of the opinion, and I'm not saying that this speaks well for Dwight Howard as a person, but I'm of the opinion that he might have overplayed the back injury.
No. When you have a back injury, like I get back spasms, there is no overplaying. You're done. Look at some article, back spasms. He didn't last long after those started. Like he was like, I'll play. Oh shit, that's how it works. Your back is finished. Like you get surgery, but you can't take bumps in the back. You can't. You'll crumble to the floor crying, and that's what's going to happen.
Okay, let's switch topics. Steve Kerr was on a TNT analyst. Steve Kerr, statistically, this quote: "It's easy to make the argument that Steve Nash is the best shooter in the history of the league." He ran a bunch of numbers. He's that type of guy. Let's. I'm not saying he is. Let's just say that as the basis. Okay. The reason he was also saying it is because the shot selection that he will get because he passes so far and shoots at the right time. He's got that kind of acumen for the game. Clarity of pecking order. Okay. I mean, the Princeton offense, the pick and roll, the backdoor cuts. One of your things you mentioned in your rant against the Lakers last week was talking about their head coach.
Yeah.
There's something to be said because he hasn't won a ring yet, although he did get to the finals with LeBron. With that said, they brought in Eddie Jordan, who is the Tex Winter. You know, you have Phil Jackson saying, "Okay, I want to run the triangle. I'm getting Tex Winter." Now you have Grant Brown saying, "We're going to run the Princeton offense to get everybody involved. Let's get Eddie Jordan." So I'm saying, whereas last year's team, which wasn't great, they were okay. They won the division, but they had trouble scoring because there wasn't a defined offensive scheme that they're running. Now they have a defined offensive scheme. They're going to be tough to stop on offense.
All right, I have one question.
Go for it.
Just one real question. How many minutes do you think Steve Nash is going to play per game?
I think actually, here my counter argument was going to come to that in a moment. They're not going to need everybody playing 40 minutes.
True. But
They're not.
How many minutes does he normally play? 25 to 32 minutes per game, right?
I don't know the exact number of what he's been playing with his son.
That's the number he usually plays.
Okay.
25 and 32 minutes per game.
Okay.
Dwight Howard will have to start off slow because he's again coming back. Right. So your backup power forward and point guard on the Lakers. Steve Blake, Chris Duhon.
Right, I know.
Chris Duhon.
Right.
Steve Blake.
I know.
These are the people you want running your team.
I didn't say that, but they're not running the team.
Right.
They're temporarily running the team.
But these are the people, if they go down, these are the people that you're going to be subbing in.
You're counting on injuries.
No, I'm not counting on it. I'm pretty much saying they're going to be injured. There's no counting on. I know it.
How do you know that?
Because neither one plays 82 games.
Oh, well, they're not going to wind up playing 82 games, and the reason for that is because they're going to be sitting down like on nights of back-to-backs and whatever.
Wasn't it Ron Artest earlier during this offseason?
Oh, don't use Ron Artest as a plus for my argument, because I'm not here to tout Ron.
He's the one that said that they could go 73-9.
Oh, come on. I'm not saying that.
But with that, on paper, that squad could conceivably go 73-9. I will allow that. But that's saying that they mesh well. People do their jobs. Like Dwight Howard has to give up scoring. That's number one. He has to give up scoring for this offense to work. He has to just focus on rebounding. He won't, because he's selfish. Paul Gasol has to say, I'm the post. I'm actually the center. I'm the one that's 7-1. Give me the ball in the post. Let me work the low post offense. You rebound. That's not going to happen. Kobe has to defer to Steve Nash. That's not going to happen. Not after Steve Nash misses 2 or 3 game winners. Which is going to happen. Steve Nash has to say, hey, I'm capable of playing more than 35 minutes because Steve
The LA
Blake
Times,
and Chris Carter are my backups.
the LA Times reported in today's editions that during practice there was Brown rolled out the ball and said, "Well, we will not have post-practice running if somebody shoots 3 consecutive free throws, but only one person gets a shot." Kobe pushed Nash to the line.
Well, yeah. Of course you're going to push Nash to the line.
Well, is that not... Look, I'm not saying that's the same with having 20,000 people in an arena getting in your face screaming, miss the shot. I'm not trying to say that.
He's 93% from the free throw line.
Well, doesn't that make him a clutch shooter?
Not in... If you're going to give Steve Nash the ball at the free throw line...
I've seen a lot of guys on the free throw line, and they look like a portrait of a man scared shitless.
Yeah, but you're saying in practice, after not running for 48 minutes, 47 minutes, shoot the ball. Steve Nash can do that. But coming off a pick, when you're...
Oh, yes, he can. You apparently haven't watched enough Phoenix Suns. You have not seen... Apparently, you don't know Steve Nash as well. But, switching topics, age.
Age? Okay.
I understand that I understand that's an issue. Nobody beats Father Time. However, the Mavericks, when they won the title 2 years ago, were older than the Lakers.
Jason Kidd, yeah.
Well, more than Kidd, but yeah, they were older.
But he was a old point guard.
When the bad boy Pistons beat the Lakers, everybody assumed the Lakers were old, but it was the Pistons that were the actually oldest team in the NBA.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, yeah, they had. That's why it was only a 2-year run, and they had to blow it up.
Yeah.
Because they were all old.
Well, not all. Richard Hamilton.
Right. Not. Well, yeah, but I'm referring also to the bad. I'm also referring to the bad boy Pistons as well.
The bad boy Pistons.
The bad boy Pistons were older than the LA Lakers back then.
Oh yeah, after Kareem retired. Yeah.
Right. Now, so there's that.
No, they didn't play after Kareem retired.
Well, so there's that. Then also the Celtics. Not that they won the title in the last 3 or 4, but the Celtics are an old team, and I don't think they'll be
still content. Yeah.
So I think the age thing is overblown. I'm not saying that these guys are like a bunch of going to be like Oklahoma City, where they're just like 3 feet over the rim and just flying all over the place.
But they also won't play more than 40 minutes a game.
But they won't need to.
Well, when you realize...
Not during the regular season. There's so much mediocre NBA basketball out there that you don't need to.
Not in the West. Not in the West. That's the issue. We have a very tough West. We have aforementioned Oklahoma City Thunder.
Right.
The Lakers have to beat them.
I understand that.
And that's the only way they make the finals.
But they don't have. But I was also looking over the starting lineups across the West, and again, it's not as physical as the East. So if Dwight Howard...
Kendrick Perkins isn't physical?
Oh, well, I didn't say that every team in the West was.
But there's a lot of teams that have that bruiser of a center that can't really shoot, that they have in there just to elbow people in the back. They have a lot of those.
Look, I'm arguing that the fact that there's just enough mediocre basketball, because this is how the Celtics did it to stay relevant in the playoffs, and this is how other teams have did it. They held back. They were able to manage minutes.
Yeah.
And I'm under the impression that should the Lakers be able to do that, they will be in the playoffs.
Can Mike Brown do it?
I believe so. Look, he's not a stupid man. He may not know how to coach an offense, but he's not a stupid man.
I didn't say he's stupid. I said he can't distribute minutes.
Here's why we disagree with that. Anybody can have a calculator and say, oh shit, 30. Why I think they'll be better. Feel free to shoot things down before we switch topics. Organization, an actual offensive philosophy that they did not have that year that actually complements the incoming players. The Princeton offense.
Oh, okay.
They actually, in other words, they have an idea now of how they're going to score. There was way too much. They will. There was Eddie Jordan who won't let it get. He won't let it get away. Look, the problem with the Lakers last year, way too much Kobe Bryant isolation.
Most certainly.
Okay. And the points went down, and it was also why Kobe looked so bad in the playoffs because he was gassed.
Yeah.
Now, the last Lakers over the hill run, which again is a counterpoint a lot of people use, that was trying to fit players into a system that they weren't used to, i.e. Gary Payton and Malone in the triangle. This is the Princeton offense where everything gets spread around, and again, we've been talking about pick and rolls with Nash and Howard. Better shooting, Nash over Derek Fisher.
Yeah.
Less drama.
Really? Less drama?
Bynum, gone. Odom, gone. Matt Barnes, gone. I know he's. I'm not. Yeah, I know. I'm not saying Matt Barnes was like this. Like
you still have Jordan Hill on the team.
So what? He's got his issue solved. look. We're talking about four. I'm talking about 4 guys who are gone. What I'm saying is 4 guys gone as opposed to 5 guys still there. Okay. Less drama.
Yeah.
I mean, now I'm not sitting there.
But you did bring in drama queen
Dwight Howard.
Yeah.
I acknowledge that.
Yeah.
I concede that. But still, overall.
And you still have crazy as a motherfucker run our test.
Again, lost more game 1.
Okay. I just wanted to make that point. Okay.
I didn't say drama free. I said less drama.
Yeah, much less drama, but you brought in drama and you still have drama.
Every team's
Sure.
Okay, so with that said, agree to disagree. By the way, I'm not predicting their win. I mean, I haven't seen enough yet. I don't want to go into. We don't go into the prediction business here.
Right.
But I think they're a lot better than what you're giving them credit for.
And I hope Steve Nash lasts the season because I like Steve. I like his game.
Yeah.
It wasn't made out of hatred because I'm a Pistons fan. I don't give a damn about any other teams. I'm just saying this is what I saw happening.
Tell them what's on your mind, brother.
What's on my mind is the Houston Rockets drafted a player in the first round named Royce White. I believe that's his name. I can't remember anymore for some reason. He was drafted out of Iowa, I believe. One of those two. Doesn't matter. What you need to know about the Houston Rockets first round draft pick is that he apparently played in college while having extreme OCD and a fear of flying. They signed him to a contract after drafting him very early in the mid first round, and he has apparently not shown up to camp.
All right.
His reasoning is they need to have something available for him to help his mental health issues. He said that himself, that he's mentally ill, that he needs something to help his mental health issues.
That hurts to hear.
Yeah, he wants an innovative plan. His words, innovative plan to combat his fear of flying. He's even offered to buy his own bus to drive him to games.
Ah!
Now, to that I say this.
A Madden cruiser.
To that I say this. Get your monkey ass on the fucking plane. You're a millionaire now. B.A. Baracus got hit in the back of the head to get his ass on a plane every goddamn week. Get on the goddamn plane. How many times did they drug B.A. Baracus during the 18?
Ooh, well, that was a 4-year show, 22 episodes a year, 88 times.
And he got every goddamn week. B.A. Baracus got hit in the back of the head with a goddamn shovel or stuck in the neck with a needle.
And he got fooled by Dwight Schultz of all people.
Yeah. How many concussions is that B.A. Baracus was driving with? A lot. He played hurt. Get your motherfucking ass on a goddamn plane. That's all I gotta say. Royce White, get your ass. There's no such thing as mental illness. I'm afraid of flying when you're a millionaire. Get on the plane. Get on the goddamn plane. Get on the plane. I'm done.
You don't fly, do you?
Hell no.
Guys, Major League Baseball has made one too many tweaks to try and gain extra money. The one-game playoffs, which debuted yesterday for the wild card round, a one-game round, couldn't have possibly gone any worse. It's a miserable idea for baseball. Yesterday afternoon, Baltimore defeated the Texas Rangers in the one-game alleged playoff, and St. Louis eliminated Atlanta. Both teams that were eliminated would have still been alive under the old wild card system when they only took 4 teams, the 3 division winners, 1 wild card, as opposed to 3 plus 2. One of the teams was eliminated. Atlanta was eliminated on a controversial call. All season long, busting your butt. 162 games, you get in the playoffs, 1 call, season over. And no sport relies on its officials as much as Major League Baseball. The lack of replay.
Oh yeah.
You know, no controversy, or rather, plenty. How would you like to go play 162 baseball games and on the 163rd you get cut because of an umpire's call? That's why the best of 5 system is so vital to Major League Baseball, because it balances things out. As for the Rangers would have been in a best of 5 series before this season. They've been in 2 consecutive World Series. That's a good baseball program they have there.
Yeah.
Eliminated, 1 game, just like that. So here's the thing. There's multiple reasons why this is bad, because you don't want everything. Baseball works best when it's stretched out a little bit, because then the better team usually gets to show why it's better. You have 1-game playoffs like you do in college basketball. The margin of error over something that's way too judgmental is too great. In addition to that, if you think about it, I mean, if you think about it, look, everybody was like so hyped on Wednesday, the day before the playoffs started, because Baltimore was playing the New York Yankees in a 1-game playoff to see who won the American League Eastern Division. But that game didn't matter, because they were both going to the playoffs anyway.
Right.
And then Baltimore winds up defeating Texas to advance to play the Yankees. What I'm saying is this: there was no drama to that game at all. None. Because both teams were going. What if that game to end the season between Baltimore and the Yankees was for all the marbles, the only playoff spot? That becomes exciting. And then you go into a regular series where the best team has a better shot of winning. The 1-game wild card playoff, folks, is going to wind up being very similar to the play-in game in the NCAA tournament. Everybody loves the NCAA tournament. Nobody loves the play-in game. Nobody watches. You put it on your bracket, but you don't give a damn because you don't know shit about the team. That's what Major League Baseball has done to itself. They've taken a percentage of their playoffs, made it the equivalent of the play-in game that nobody will watch. You've drained yourself of the thing that makes playoff baseball so compelling. Well done, Major League Baseball. Well done. Oh, and by the way, the teams that won in the play-in games, you just gassed your best pitchers, which basically makes the odds of an upset less likely. Less compelling baseball, less competitive baseball, 1-game playoff. You effed yourselves, baseball. See you next